This is the current state of my balcony garden and I need to do some consolidating today. I want to pot stuff up and create more floor space. I'll be adding new tiers to my vertical Greenstalk garden. I'm doing this over the course of 2 days and today it's really windy. I'm going to pot up this basil and check out my little sweet bell peppers. There are 2 orange ones and 1 green one. And I have these 2 tomato plants. I ended up chopping off the leaves on the bottom and anything that isn't absolutely necessary so that the energy redirects to producing the fruit. Here is the water reservoir that I will be adding onto my tier, and that's the second tier. I'm placing down the water reservoir in here and I'm making sure that I don't get any dirt in here whatsoever because that will block the holes. And now I have my second tier on. So on my first tier, I have heirloom tomatoes, cucumbers, zinnias, basil, more tomatoes, and cosmos. Before I start filling this in with soil, I wanted to plug this up so that the soil doesn't fall down to the bottom reservoir. I filled this tier with soil and compost. And now I'm going to add perlite and vermiculite. This recipe was based on a recommendation by this other YouTuber. Her name is Green Love, and she has a bunch of Greenstalk planters, and this was her recommendation for the soil medium. Pretty roughly, I have half potting soil, half compost, 1 part vermiculite, and 1 part perlite. The soil is supposed to be as light and airy as possible, so I think that's why we add both perlite and vermiculite. The packaging on both kind of says the same thing, so I don't know what the difference is between the two. So I do my best to mix everything in well as much as possible, and I've also already added compost at this point. I put in this tomato cutting, but I'm going to end up taking it out later. I'm also planting in some marigolds as companion plants for my vegetables. I'm not sure if I should put 2 in here, but I'm going to test it out. Next, I have my basil plant that I divided. I bought this basil plant sometime last year, and it has survived until now. The stems are extremely woody and it's very mature. It started to flower, but I was pinching all the flowers back. Next, I have these sad little zinnia seedlings. They really needed a new home, so I hope that they can thrive in here. I'm adding a little bit more of perlite and vermiculite and compost because it's not quite all the way at the top yet, and the recommendation is that you fill the soil all the way up to the top. Here's a look at the second tier. I have marigolds. This I'm going to fill in. More marigolds, basil, zinnias, and a cucumber. I'm adding a 3rd and 4th tier today. So I have tomatoes that I'm gonna add and these sweet bell peppers. I'm using this new expanding potting soil made out of cocoa coir. You just add some water and let it expand. It'll take a few minutes to expand the whole block. And I'm gonna do the same with adding vermiculite, perlite, and compost. The dark black is compost. And now I'm ready to transplant the tomatoes. The soil that I was growing the tomatoes in were really dry and I think hydrophobic, and the roots aren't really that deep. This was just normal potting mix, and you see there's a lot of tree bark in there. It's kind of sandy and it didn't really hold much water at all. I'm also adding these cosmos and zinnias that I grew from seed. I'm going to transplant these mini bell peppers. I felt like it was a little bit risky to transplant them, but it's still early in the season. Next, I'm transplanting these 2 tomato plants. They are kind of tall, but I put stakes in it, so I hope it'll hold it up. And finally, here is the garden. It's pretty much consolidated as much as possible. If I plant anything else moving forward, I still have 4 more tiers of the Greenstalk left. I kept the cucumber in the bag. It was too viney and messy to move, and now I have a little cucumber. This was my original mini vertical garden. I have mostly strawberries and some greens growing in it. And I have a dahlia here. And this is Sun Coleus with my plumeria tree. Behind that, I have another dahlia. It's pink. And then I have some cilantro And this is the peony. Probably won't bloom this year. Then I have some peacock orchids, and this is my sunflower, my lonely sunflower, and some viney plants. I left this lettuce in here to let it go to seed. And I have a second lettuce here as well. And this is some lemongrass. That's all for now.